A 35-year-old man has gone viral for teaching himself how to read. Oliver James graduated high school without the ability to read. He was functionally illiterate, and he could only read simple words at the time. And as you would imagine, that made life a lot more challenging. He lied about his struggles, and that only made holding a job more difficult. And then one day, he realized that he wanted to learn how to read before he started his own family. And in 2020, with the help of his partner, James picked up a book and he started reading. Last year, he set out to read 100 books, and he took to social media to share his journey and his experience, posting videos on TikTok along the way. And now he is helping bring attention to adult illiteracy, which impacts about 20% of Americans right now. Oliver is with us to talk more about the process over the last few years in learning to read. Oliver, welcome. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you, too.
You know, as I learned about your story and I read some of the articles about your experience, the first question I had is how you graduate high school, how you get through the system without being able to read. How do you slip through the cracks?
You know, the funny thing is, a lot of people ask me, but I think people should ask themselves. I was the child. I want to know how I slept through the cracks. I'm here now not knowing how to read. I didn't have to say. The adults did.
Right. It's a great question. What was your childhood experience like, and what are some things that you know now that could help catch some of those kids who aren't learning?
You know, I think we're all starting to see it. Lack of awareness. And people didn't have any awareness of what children were going through. They didn't care. They treated us like adults. I was a kid thinking I was 30 years old. Now I'm 30, realizing I was a kid all these years, and I'm still trying to catch up right now. And I think adults at that time did not pay any attention to what kids would end up being in the future. Now they're just starting to see the outcome of what would it be.
Right. So you couldn't read. You took on jobs. I know that was difficult. In one article I read, even reading a menu, something that a lot of us take for granted when you go to a restaurant, right? What's on the menu? What was the turning point for you that you admitted, this is a secret I've been keeping and I want to change it, I want to learn?
I think it was when I started to realize I wanted to do something for my kids. And I realized that I didn't have any tools to give to my children. The tools that I had, I didn't want to give to them. They were given to me, and they weren't the tools that I needed to survive in this world, obviously. I'm a 35-year-old man who struggles with reading. So I wanted to give more to my kids, and I did not know how to do it. So I turned to the one thing I didn't know how to do, and that was reading.
For a lot of people, there's shame in the inability to do something, whatever it is. In your case, it was reading. There's embarrassment. What would be your advice to someone who's in that situation now to overcome that and to release that and admit what's going on so you can get help?
I would tell them to just look at it from a different perspective. It's so silly for us to do that and to judge that way. We don't judge children and babies for trying to learn. A baby wants to learn how to go from crawling to walking. Do we laugh at them? No, because it's the right time for them to make the transition. See, we think that there's a perfect time for every transition, and there's not. Life is all about learning and development and growth. We need to understand that in this world. No one has all the answers. We need to work together to make it happen.
Yeah, well, I just love your story, and I love that you love reading now. So what do you enjoy most about it, some of the books that you have on the top of your list?
Diary Anne Frank, The Giving Tree, those are some of my favorites. This is my other one is, I just read actually Holes. Holes will probably be one of my top. And I want to tell you, if you didn't read it, go check it out. And Zero is my favorite character right now.
Oh, that's great. So do you have any reading goals for 2024 as we start this new year?
Yeah, I'm focusing on my mental health. I suffer from anxiety, PTSD, OCD. These are the things that happen when you don't learn how to read. So I'm going to be reading many books about my mental health and trying to overcome my challenges and build up my motivational speaking career.
Yeah, well, it's incredible. Thank you for sharing your story. It will help a lot of people overcome some of the same struggles and challenges that you faced. A child who did slip through the cracks, but it's not going to happen to your kids. And we appreciate you being open and honest about it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Oliver James, reading a lot, and it changes lives. Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.